Other set of tires on. You got to think the wear is going to be a little more excessive because of the fact that the track is green. So probably best off to come back in and get another set of tires and get ready for the second stage.
What's going on down there, Dylan?
Well, just was chatting with some crew chiefs down here about maybe the thought process of what you do on pit road, and it'll be interesting to see how many caution or pace laps we run here. There was some thought of maybe, can you try to run it out to the end of stage 2? Can you not pit here at the end of stage 1 and go all the way to the end of stage 2 if you're worried about weather again, if you're worried about rain or fog or whatever the case may be? So I don't think that that's going to be the case, because there were some teams with that were talking about the tire wear being already significant enough that you'd want to come down and take tires any chance you got. But I do think if you're feeling ambitious and you're a little bit further back, you may be able to do something like 2 tires or something like that just to get some track position. So there may be some different approaches or different strategies when we do get to the end of this stage, but a lot of it depends too on how many laps we run under yellow here and what that does for guys' fuel numbers as well.
You know, the other thing we saw in this race last year was someone came down in this situation. There were more laps left than what we'll have here, but you came down, put on your tires with the thought of, even though you're giving up a set, you've got those fresh tires and maybe you can run your way back into the top 10 and get some stage points when you wouldn't have otherwise been able to compete for those.
Yeah, but I thought Jamie had a great point that your tire wear is going to be a little worse here in this little short burst right here. So I think the call would be go ahead and pit again, get this tires off, and if you need them later in the race, you use them. But I personally, I'd run this out. You know, these tires are going to have the wear, get them off there, make one more adjustment, and then hopefully be good to the end.
One thing about this track, Adam, is that it's really fast. We heard the guys, every driver we talked to talked about how bumpy it is. When you don't have a good handling car and you hit those bumps, it's just magnified the issue that you have. So you might get a short time gain by staying out here. But if it runs green and they have to run the next 35, 40 laps, you'll be wishing that you had tires. It's going to be fun for us to watch what these guys decide to do.
Officially, red flag was 4 hours, 21 minutes, 59 seconds. Here's 17 Team Radio.
I'm sure I already know the answer to this, but once you get back to the front, just give me an update. It's fine.
We agree. We are ready.
It's not necessary. He's not a good gauge because he runs when there's dirt and you can't see anything anyway.
Yes.
So we can't be asking him.
He's got a lot of racing still yet to do this weekend.
I mean, have y'all? Sorry for getting here late again, but have y'all mentioned, like, this is going to be a challenge for the spotters?
Oh yeah, definitely. And what we were saying when you walk in is that we've been using the back straightaway and the Jumbotron kind of as our gauge, better now than what it was an hour ago. Yep. I mean, the ceiling has lifted, I wouldn't say considerably, but it definitely has lifted compared to where it was when they really started redrying the racetrack.
It's questionable, but it's fine right now. It's better than what it was, and you can still see.
Yeah, they can run right now, no doubt.
Allgaier leading this thing. Nice presence at Junior Motorsports up there inside the top 5. Corey Day from Hendrick Motorsports. Got Brandon Jones, the best Toyota, coming from Joe Gibbs Racing. Our Arby's onboard camera riding with Allgaier.
That perspective from inside the car as we were riding on board with Justin, you can see the fog, but it's so much better from in the car, what you're seeing ahead, because you're only having to look, half a straightaway or so ahead. When it's the spotter's perspective, you're talking about a half a mile away, from where we're sitting or standing right here over to turn 3 or to turn 2, the exit. But as you look at that, vision's great from inside the car. All that looks good.
We knew that Jeff Burton was going to pit. Saw him come down. All those front runners stay out. Pit road was open that time by. Let's go down to Carla.
Yeah, thanks, Adam. Here with the crew chief for Connor Zillage, Rodney Childers right now. Not your first rodeo with a rain delay like this. What's important for your driver to remember as we get ready to go green?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing right now is we're just so close to the end of the stage, you don't really know what's going to happen. You don't want to just turn around and pit after you've only run 5 green flag laps on tires. So we just got to see what happens here and see how our car is. We were a little bit too tight to start the race, but feel good about what we've got. Had a lot of speed, so we'll just see what we got. We got the right guy behind the wheel, and hopefully we can get one tonight.
We asked a lot of drivers about track conditions. How do you expect the track to change as we race late into the night?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like these cars actually change a little bit different than the Cup cars did. You know, for 3 years, I was kind of used to the way that those change, the Cup cars change, and I feel like these change a little bit different throughout the race. And that's been a little bit of a learning curve this year, but, you know, overall, we've got a little bit better at that over the last few weeks, and hopefully we can do that again tonight.
Thank you. We'll let you get back to it. Adam?
Yeah, we're going to get one to go this time around, so we'll do the choose. And with 10 to go on the stage right now, do the choose with 9 to go, and then we'll go green with 8 to go in the stage. Mentioned Jeb Burton came down. There were 3 or 4 other cars that made pit stops from deep in the field, but nothing significant there when you talk about strategy plays nearing the end of this opening stint of the race.
Well, and Jeb talked about they weren't coming down just to do a normal pit stop. They were going to raise the hood and do some adjustments on that car to hopefully get it to drive just a little bit better. And you know, from Rodney's perspective, he mentioned 5 laps. You did the math. It's technically going to be 8 laps here. A lot of the strategy is going to play into do we get a caution right away, right? Do we get a caution here and you run 4 or 5 more laps? It's a no-brainer that you're going to stay out and not give up all that track position. But it's interesting to see what those guys decide to do if we do run a full 8 green flag laps and how fast those laps are going to be. I got to think the track is just going to be insanely fast with no sun and green.
This should be the fastest laps they run all night, right here. You know, the temperatures, you know, pretty much leveled off for the night. As green as the racetrack will be, no rubber on it. They should be hammered down at this point.
Closed captioning for today's race brought to you by Cerakote. The top detailers in the world trust Cerakote, shouldn't you?